Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you might be joining from. I am HR Funk, and welcome to my 10-year on YouTube special anniversary live stream. I'm joined this evening by my special guest star, Mimi, who is here with me. And if any of you would like to join us, all you have to do is send an email to the email address you see going across the bottom of the screen right there, and I will send you a link. And you can join us in person to have a little bit of a talk and some fun with the celebration this evening. Remember, if you do come on the show, keep everything courteous and polite. This is a family show. And already I'm seeing a lot of people that have been waiting for a while. We've got Nathan Huxtable here. I'm not sure if we just got the first email or not, so give me just a second here. But we got Nathan Huxtable, Rich Powers. Who else do we have here? Art Grote, Roy Kiefer, Elaine's Domain. So lots of you all joining us this evening.
No, that was just...
All right. That was YouTube letting me know that my live stream has started. So that was awfully nice of them to let me know that. But thank you all for joining. As I said, this is my 10-year anniversary live stream. I have been looking forward to this day for quite a while now. We had the video that went live this morning. I hope at least some of you saw that. I know some of you did. Grandpa Bob is now here. Josh Twyman, how are you? Thomas White.
And Roy Kiefer said, how about those Gamecocks? And how about those Gamecocks?
Mimi is the graduate of the University of South Carolina. I am the graduate of the United States Marine Corps. That was my institution of higher learning. So I don't really have any Gamecock loyalty, but she is extremely excited about that whole...
well, you sleep with me, so you have to.
that whole game with the... What was that other team? Clemson. That's who they were.
Those rednecks from up north.
Oh, geez.
Good evening, y'all. Hi, everybody who's saying hi.
Wow. Thomas White got a notice from YouTube that the live stream was started. So good. For once, finally, some notices went out.
And Jeff Tim said he got a late notice again.
And that's YouTube. Unfortunately, I cannot control how they send out the notices, or if they send out the notices, which a lot of times they don't. Roy Kiefer is already warning me about being on thin ice. I'm always on thin ice. In fact, the ice is just, basically, it's usually like trying to walk on water. That's typically me.
Oh, poor you.
Jeff Tim is saying good evening to you.
Yep.
From all the way down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Oh, wow.
Where I'm sure he had a much nicer day today with the weather down there than we had up here. Nasty day up here today. Foggy, just kind of dreary. It wasn't cold. Temperature was nice, but otherwise it was a nasty day. Chris S. 1911 is here. He says we can rejoice because he is here. Again, if anybody wants to join as a guest, just shoot me a quick email and I will get you a link so you can join the show. Going back to what I was saying before, this is the 10th anniversary live stream. 10 years ago today, if you can imagine that, was the date of my first ever YouTube video, or at least the date that it went live. I probably recorded it a day or two before that. And then I had to figure out how to do the very amateur editing that I did in that video, and finally got the thing up and figured out how to make it appear on YouTube. And it seems to me like longer ago than it actually is. I think largely because so much has happened in my life since then. You know, at the time that I made that first video, I was still a master sergeant 2 police departments ago with the first department that I retired from. And after that, took the chief's job. Was there for almost 7 years, then took the private security gig up in Cleveland. And now I'm actually retired, really retired, I think, at least for the moment. So it just seems like a lot has gone on since I made that first video. Yeah,
I would say a lot has gone on in 10 years. Yeah, I mean, our daughter would have been in elementary school 10 years ago.
Well, she's not much older than that now.
And now she's coming home Saturday after half a year of her freshman year of college.
I have a better appreciation for the movie. I think it was called Father of the Bride with Steve Martin, and where he looks at his daughter walking up to him, and she's a little girl, and she looks up and she says something about, Daddy, you have to get ready for the wedding. And he says, what? And he blinks his eyes, and she's fully grown and getting ready to get married. So I kind of understand that scene a little bit better now than I did back when I first saw it.
Yes, but our daughter is not getting ready to get married.
No, she's not getting ready to get married, but she just seems like she got a lot older awfully quick.
I see your son made it this year. He's in here.
Ah, okay. Ben is here. Glad we were just talking to Ben a little while ago on the phone, and he said he was going to try to chime in. So he is here as well.
Yay.
If anyone has any guitar questions, that's the person to ask them to, because I don't know anything about a guitar. In fact,
guitar and music.
I bought a guitar once, believe it or not. I was going to learn how to play the guitar. This is back when I was in the Marine Corps. And there was one of my friends in the barracks who played guitar, and I used to love listening to him play guitar. So I decided I'm going to buy my own and learn how to do this. So I went to a pawn shop, which was probably my first mistake. I bought a guitar and a little amplifier, and I went back to my barracks room. And my friend showed me like a couple of chords, and I learned to play those chords. I learned to play the intro to one song. It was like Stairway to Heaven or something ridiculous like that.
You learned that song?
Well, like the first, I don't know, half dozen notes or something like that.
But still, of all the songs to start with, that was it.
And I put the guitar in my wall locker, and about a year later, I took it back to the same pawn shop and pawned it for beer money or something like that. And that was the end of my days as a musician.
I can't even imagine.
Chris Sanders says, where'd it go? Hello, Mrs. Funk. Happy 10 years on YouTube. Roy Kiefer says, just wait until granddaughters. I think I can wait a little while.
Roy Kiefer, hush your mouth.
Kinetic says, hey, Chief, congrats on 10 years. Looking forward to 10 more. Thank you very much. KD Cowboys here with a long comment. We'll see what this one says. Recently watched your All Good Things video, and that reminded me of Mayberry. It was kind of like Mayberry. I kind of had the Andy Griffith role when I was working as chief. I was waiting to see Barney Fife make an appearance. Actually grew up in a small town like that. And it is a nice little town, very nice little town. I enjoyed my time working there. And let me silence that thing so it's not making noise over there. And Missouri Minuteman says, congratulations on 10 years. Keep up great work. Thank you. And during that entire 10 years, I think I told this story recently. This was actually all Mimi's fault. The reason I've been around during that time. I told this story in the video this morning. I was watching a YouTube video about 10 years ago that I wasn't happy with, and I was complaining about it. And you said, well, why don't you make your own videos? I said, all right, I will.
Not really sure that's how it went.
I think it's exactly how it went.
I mean, I kind of vaguely remember that, but I don't think I knew you started making them until whatever, sometime later. So what was the why did you start on December 7th? Was that just when you happened to start, or you thought this is a good day to start?
That's probably when I figured out how to get the thing to actually work.
Okay.
Because it was not something that I had somebody showing me how to do this. I had to figure out how to record the video, how to upload the video to, well, actually how to get it into my computer first, and then how to upload it to YouTube, and how to make it viewable on YouTube. So there was a huge learning curve with this whole thing. It was not something that was easy for me to figure out. So it probably, I would imagine it took me a couple of weeks to figure all that out. Mm-hmm. And it just happened that December 7th was the day it went live.
So Nathan Huxtable wants to know, when did HR FUD come to be?
HR FUD came about a couple of years ago when I made the video where I was sort of poking fun at the tactical people. And I started out with HR FUD in the 1911 and did the whole intro with that. And I switched over to HR Tactical at some point. And I've had a lot of fun. It's been a while since we saw the Fudster. I should probably bring him back one of these days, because that's always fun for a visit from HR FUD. I think my glasses are doing something weird here. But
Justin said, I just found your channel in the last 18 months and appreciate your knowledge and expertise.
Well,
welcome
you,
aboard, Justin.
Absolutely. Thank you for watching. Robert Woolley says, happy anniversary and Semper Fi. Semper Fi to you, Robert.
Jeff Tim said, you can't fool me. If your vids were a disaster on December 7th, no one would ever notice. Unless
somebody would have noticed. I would have heard about it from somewhere. 357 maximum, like the Ronin vid. It has an EMP, and I saw an EMP. In fact, that's the one that as we were walking out the door of the gun show over in Worcester, I stopped and looked at. So nice little pistol, but I really wanted that commander size, so that's the one that I finally found. And I'm happy I found that too. Good pistol. I've been very happy with it. I need to get it back out again one of these days and do some more accuracy testing with it on a day when it's not, whatever it was that day, 15 degrees or something. Peacemaker 121, 772 said go Gamecocks.
Yes. They're in the Gator Bowl, which I'm not really sure when that is.
Is that in Florida?
I think so.
I assume it is, since they're the Florida Gators. I would think that would be where it would be.
Yeah, but it's the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. I think it's in Florida. I think it's in shucks. Is it Fort Lauderdale? Anyway, I'll look it up.
I'm not sure where it is. Dan Gorton is here. Hi to you, Dan. John Ladd, have you had any more experience with your Performance Center revolver? As a matter of fact, yes. And since it came back from Smith & Wesson and it was repaired and I've been out shooting it, it is quickly becoming one of my more frequently used revolvers because I can let all of my classic K-frames, I can say putting wear and tear on my classic K-frames and use that. And the more I shoot it, the more I like it. I don't know if you caught the video that I made not too long ago where I was talking about stances and grips and things like that. And the one firearm that I had when I went out to the range for that video was my Performance Center Model 19 Carry Comp. And that thing was just keeping the shots right dead center of the target. I was very happy with the way it shoots. And like I said, the more I shoot it, the more I like it.
Jacksonville. It's in Jacksonville, Florida. Kevin Griffin wants to know why you didn't carry a Beretta as an officer.
I was never issued one. And back in those days, it seemed like everything I carried was one version or another of a Smith & Wesson. And I thought I had...
No, let me worry about that. I'll let you know.
Thought I had somebody that wanted to join the video, and it looks like it's
junk email.
Yeah. But no, Berettas were, and I've told this many times, I was just getting out of the Marine Corps when we were getting the Beretta pistols over in Iwakuni, Japan. I was never issued one. When I got out of the Marine Corps, I started carrying a Smith & Wesson pistol almost immediately. And that was just what I stuck with for a long time. In fact, I didn't get my M9 until I think within the last 5 or 6 years. And since that time, I've gotten to where I'm a big fan of the Beretta M9. It's a great pistol, and I've got the M9A3 nowadays. But of the two, I really prefer shooting the M9, just the no frills standard version of that pistol. The M9A3 has a lot of nice bells and whistles, but as far as just going out to the range and shooting, I really like that standard M9.
Elaine's Domain said roll tide, so I think we have to remove that person from the rolls here.
Uh-oh, ED, you're in trouble.
Roy Kiefer says, what I greatly appreciate is honesty, humor, humility, and very thorough explanations. Aww.
Well, thank you, Roy. And I try my best. I try not to disappoint you all when you come to watch the videos or when you come to watch the live streams. So thank you. Thank you.
Camp David says, we're on the eve of the ATF's legislative branch. Stop. Pistol brace affront. Any thoughts?
I have been waiting for a while now to hear how that's going to go. In fact, I was looking on the doing some searching on the internet a week or so ago, trying to figure out exactly what's going on with that. And it's still very vague. So I don't know just as of yet what we're going to end up with. And the things online, of course, everybody's trying to read the tea leaves and make crystal ball predictions and everything like that. We're just going to have to wait and see what happens. I think it would be nice if the new Congress, when they're installed, could do something to try to derail that, but I don't know. We'll just have to see what happens.
Justin says, any experience with a 5-inch M&P 2.0, looking at that for the long slide to replace my G19 as a nightstand range gun?
My 5-inch M&P is a chambered for the 45 ACP. I've got an M&P 45 that's a 5-inch, but I don't think I've ever shot one of the 5-inch 9mm. Well, I guess I've got a 5-inch 42 now that I think about it, but not a 5-inch 9. The nice thing is you get greater sight radius with the 5-inch. As far as actually shooting, I don't know that it makes a whole lot of difference. You get a little bit more velocity on the bullet, so if that's important, you get that as well. But I think if it balances well for you and shoots well for you, you're going to be happy with the 5-inch. I always have kind of gravitated toward the slightly shorter ones, the 4 1/4-inch version, but I do have those couple of 5s that I mentioned a minute ago.
Cystic Fibrosis says, congrats on 10 years. I think you and Paul H. bring a lot to the gun scene. It seems to be missing from the younger tubers. Hope you keep well.
Well, thank you very much. I hear people that'll mention Paul Harrell quite a bit. You know, they'll talk about me and Paul Harrell, which I think is flattering. I think he makes great videos. You know, he's a great presenter. So whenever somebody mentions me right alongside with him, I take that as quite a compliment.
Thomas White says, I carry Beretta and 686 for employment and just bought a SIG. Thanks for the advice.
My pleasure. I hope you enjoy that SIG. Which one did you get?
Jeff Tim says, 4 years ago, I saw a gate guard at Wright-Patterson with a 1911.
Really? That surprises me.
I wonder if his bosses knew he had a 1911. KD Cowboy says, any thoughts on the assault weapons ban after the election results in Georgia?
No. Short answer to that is I don't have any thoughts on it. Like I said before, we're just going to have to keep an eye on all this legislation as it develops and see where we end up. Delaware Dave, where'd that go?
I was USAF air crew was issued a Smith & Wesson Model 15 during Desert Storm. I've remained a revolver guy. I
remember the Air Force Security Police carrying the Model 15s when I was in the Marine Corps. In fact, our military police training was at Lackland Air Force Base. So all the SPs, of course, had the Model 15 back in those days. Cool revolvers, very, very good. You know, the name of those was the Combat Masterpiece. You know, so that gives you an idea of how what high regard Smith & Wesson held them in, and just very classy revolvers. Is there any difference in the trigger in the CZ75 and the CZ75 Omega? Congrats on 10 years. Go Gamecocks! Go Gamecocks. Yes, there is. A lot of people talk about the CZ75 being easier to tune than the Omega version. My CZ75 is the Omega version. I think it shoots very, very well the way it came out of the box. So I don't really think you can go wrong either way. It's just a case of personal preference as to which one you like. Shane G says, I think you were right about Smith & Wesson. Seems like I read today that they were down 47%. You called it for sure. Yeah, and I saw something about that a few days ago too. And I'm not happy about being right on that one, but I hope they get things straightened around. I hope when they move to their new facility that, you know, things go back to the way they once were with Smith & Wesson, you know, once they get out of Massachusetts. And I don't know, that's another one we're just going to have to keep an eye on and keep our fingers crossed. Several people are wishing you happy, congratulations, happy 10-year anniversary, blah, blah, blah. Jack wants to know who's chief at home. If Howard is at home, he's chief. And if I'm at home, well, I'll let you be. I'll let you be the judge of that. And Jack trying to stir up trouble. Chris Chiampo said 1911, not 1911 A1 was what my dad carried in Vietnam. Really? And I can remember we had some of the 1911s, the older pistols that were still in use when I was in the Marine Corps. Most of them were the A1s, but some of them, the frames at least had been around for a long time, and they still had the flat mainspring housing and all that. So as long as those frames are in good condition, they would just keep rebuilding them and rebuilding them and rebuilding them. And so we did have a few 1911s when I was in the Marine Corps.
Roy Kiefer says Justice Thomas's maturity opinion will, in his opinion, supersede a lot of politicized legislation. Oh, I agree. The Supreme Court. Thank God that we got the justices on the Supreme Court that we did good, because I think that's going to cure a lot of evils that are going to be coming out of the Senate and potentially the House, because there's still a couple of rhinos there who think that Democrats want to play nice with them, and they don't. Nathan Huxtable wants to know, is he the only one who prefers a paddle mag release on a handgun?
No, as a matter of fact, I like that. I had a former duty gun for about 6 or 7 years. We had the Smith & Wesson SW 99 that has the paddle style mag release that's ambidextrous, very similar to the HKs and the Walthers. And I like that. And one of the things I really liked about it is I could use my trigger finger and actuate the mag release on my, what would be the opposite side that you normally have the thumb release from. I could release it with my trigger finger, and I didn't have to turn the pistol in my hand to hit that mag release. It just felt very natural and very quick. And of course, as I was doing that, there's no way my finger was inside the trigger guard. So I actually like that, and I am not opposed to using those. Some people just absolutely detest them, but I am not one of them.
Chris 1911 said, got a 941 Jericho yet? Great gun.
I do not. I see those from time to time. I've got my Masada. In fact, that's what I have in my holster right now on my belt. And I really like the Masada, but I do not have a Jericho. And where are we here?
Katie Cowboy says, purchased a holster from
Tagua
Gun Leather, and it's great. Thanks for doing video on their products.
My pleasure. I have been really happy with those Tagua holsters too. And that really came out of the blue. I was contacted. This is one of these where I opened an email and it was somebody saying, I'm from Tagua Holsters. We'd like to send you some of these for review and this and that. And I went to the website and looked at it, and I thought, well, they look pretty good. I'll give them a try. And when the holsters showed up, I was very favorably impressed. So I'm glad you got one. I'm glad you like it too. In fact, my Tagua for the 1911 is the one that I carry a lot currently with my Springfield Armory Ronin.
Now, Craig then says, I'm looking forward to your Manchurian review, which apparently Nathan Huxtable joins in.
I'm looking forward to it too. If I ever get one, which I would say is a pretty big if.
Hamden Bob says, guys, major congrats on the 10 years. Sorry that I'm late to this party. I'd love to talk via phone sometime in the future.
Yeah, that'd be great. In fact, if you want to join as a guest, send me an email. Just, again, emails going across there on the bottom. If you want to join, shoot me an email. I'll send you a link and bring you right on here, and we can have a discussion on screen.
RJL says, hello, you two. You both look happy and healthy. Well, we just did eat supper and had a little nip of whiskey. So.
Yes, we have a special advent calendar this year that Mimi found. Where did you find that thing?
I don't know.
Oh, but it's a 25-day, 24, 25, whatever day whiskey, and well, basically a whiskey advent calendar. So it's got these little tiny bottles for each day.
No, they're test tubes. They're not little tiny bottles. They're a full-size test tube with a whiskey or a scotch in there.
What's the difference between a test tube and a little tiny bottle?
Well, a little tiny bottle indicates there's not much in there, but it's a nice little snoot. Rich Powers wants to know, what is the non-functional replica firearm tonight?
You know what? I don't have a non-functional replica tonight. I did not prepare one for this evening, so sorry, no non-fire replica tonight.
Mario Acevedo says, thanks HR for a decade of great content. I really appreciate how you reply to comments.
Thank you, Mario. And that's always something that's important to me, because I figure if somebody takes the time to send me a comment, it's only courteous to reply to that. So I really try to stay current with that. Sometimes it takes me a while, and sometimes I might just put sometimes I might just put a heart icon, click on there just as an indication that I read the comment and I appreciate it. But
a heart icon. Yeah, he spends a lot of time returning or responding to comments, which I get. I get that. So Thomas White says, you two are great together. You both are chief. I let him think that. Alan Buck says, hello from my hilltop in South Carolina, Semper Fi. Where's your hilltop, Alan?
Semper Fi, Alan. You have to let us know where the hilltop is, because it might be close to Mimi's hilltop down there somewhere.
Yeah. Nathan Huxtable asked me, what's my favorite handgun these days? I don't know. I haven't shot a handgun. I haven't shot anything in a while. And this is going to sound stupid, but I can't remember names of things very well. That 22, the long-barreled, interchangeable barrel Smith & Wesson.
The 22A.
22A, mm-hmm. Yes. I enjoy shooting the 22A because it's very accurate and it's pretty lightweight. But I haven't shot anything in a long time.
Those are nice pistols too. I have one also, and they didn't stick around in the Smith & Wesson lineup too long. Mm-hmm. But they're good shooting, accurate pistols, and they just, for whatever reason, faded away, and now they have the Victory model.
And I want to say that I have the 7-inch barrel, but you could also pop a 5-inch barrel on there, mm-hmm. And I want to say there was even a shorter one.
Yeah, there were.
I know.
Okay.
It's Nacho Night in Lincoln, Nebraska. Yay, nachos.
Where'd you see that?
A Monk 93.
Oh, okay. John Ladd, appreciate the budget firearms reviews. Sometimes are hard to find. Thank you. And that's it. I try to go sort of the whole spectrum with the various firearm reviews, but I like to get the budget reviews in. In fact, the one coming up this Saturday is going to be a budget firearm review because, so many people just, they want something that's going to work, that's going to be inexpensive, that's still going to do what they need it to do. And when I find those, I like to be sure to let everybody know about them. The insanely expensive custom firearms, you'll notice that they don't show up on my channel because of those extremely high price tags. I would love to have a Wilson Combat or a Les Baer or something like that, but just haven't been able to come off the $3,000 to $5,000 that it would cost to purchase one of those.
Alan said, Aiken, South Carolina, and that's where my dad spent some time growing up.
Really?
Yeah. Then they were in Florida. I don't know how all that worked out. But anyway, I had family in Aiken. There's no family in Aiken anymore. RJL says, can you direct me to a shoulder holster for a Beretta 92A1? So hard to find.
Check the Tagua holster site. I think they have one for a Beretta. I'm almost positive they do, but check their site.
Is it Landon Zipfel said, what is your guys' favorite food to make at home? My favorite food is steak, T-bone, big giant steak. What's your favorite food?
Well, my favorite food is pizza, but we don't make that at home too often.
That's because you don't eat it except for one day a year.
Yeah.
So that doesn't count as your favorite food anymore.
How about chocolate cake?
Okay. But we don't make that at home.
We have.
Not in a long time.
No.
Okay. I would say nachos or tacos for you.
I do like tacos.
Jeff Tim says, I actually have a NF replica of a 1911. I carried it on parade and used it for training while serving in the U.S. Army. It's older than, and then it went up. I guess he said it's older than me. The comments move up and then they disappear off the screen. So if we don't read them fast enough, that's what's going on here.
Katie, Cowboy inexperienced with radical firearms, ARs. I saw one for 435. No, I've heard of them, but I have no experience with them. Hershey Roseman, congratulations on 10 years. Thank you.
James Wilkinson said, happy to hear anniversary. Thank you, Mrs. for allowing Mr. Funk to do these videos. They are very helpful to me anyway. Well, I'm glad. He enjoys it.
I'm glad too.
He enjoys it, so that's what's important.
Craig Benz, are you going to find a 1917 under the Christmas? No, I don't think so.
No. Nope. The only weapons he told me that he wanted that were on the very short list were 3,000 to 5,000 or more. So no, he's not getting a firearm for Christmas. Got to do better.
I actually said don't buy those. And that was a Les Bear and a Wilson Combat 1911 that we saw.
Oh, I understand you said don't buy those. That I don't know why you thought that would apply to me. I will buy them if I want, but I'm not spending that money, and I couldn't find them anyway. So
Alan Buck was raised in Circleville, Ohio. Okay.
Not too far away.
Nope. Reported to the Draft Center in Columbus in July of 71. Engineer. Okay.
Wow.
A Monk 93, come to Nebraska.
What's he say?
Well, I know it jumped there. Where'd it go? Come to Nebraska, used to work in meat. Okay.
Oh, good steak. Jeff Tim said Galco holsters have a vertical shoulder holster for the 92 for $279.
Am I the only one that thinks that's kind of steep? I mean, Galco makes nice stuff, but man, that's expensive.
Katie Cowboy agrees with me. The steak cooked over lump charcoal and hickory. I would chow down on that. Salt and pepper. That's it. None of this other stuff people like to put on their meat.
Matt Moore didn't comment much. Wanted to say congrats on the 10 years. Thank you. Thank you for the education and entertaining comment. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Content.
Bob Hambden, thanks for the guest invite. Did you send an email? If you did, I didn't see a notice come across. Let me check this again quick. No, still no takers wanting to come on as a guest on the show. You guys are all shy.
Then there's conversation about Andrew's leather can probably make what's needed. Landon says, my dad fired a 50 cal and it has a lot of kickback. Oh yeah, I bet it does. Penders wants to know what software do you use and what's ultra reliable for.
Let me bring this up here so it doesn't go away.
What's ultra reliable for EDC?
For software, I assume you mean for editing the videos. I use Apple's iMovie, which comes with the Apple computers, and I've gotten more and more accustomed to using that over the years, and I think that I'm finally to the point where I'm feeling pretty comfortable with it after a decade. Ultra reliable for an EDC. I really like my Springfield Armory Hellcat. I don't think that thing has ever missed a beat. Great small handgun, and also my Smith & Wesson 342 J frame. You don't get any more reliable than a revolver. So
what's ultra reliable for EDC mean?
Everyday carry. Will am I in the 10-year period on YouTube? What has gotten better, easier, or difficult with reviews or content? I think the thing that's gotten better and easier is my presentation and my editing. I've gotten more and more comfortable and sort of developed my style more and more in the presentation. And the editing, I mentioned a moment ago with the editing software that I use, the iMovie, that I've had to learn that as I go and figure out how to make it do what I want it to do and how to get the look in the videos that I want. And I feel like I've gotten better at that. What has gotten more difficult? Dealing with YouTube. 10 years ago, well, I didn't monetize the videos for several years, but for them to have one of my videos demonetized early on, that just didn't happen. And that's becoming a very common occurrence these days. And just sort of trying to negotiate their advertiser-friendly guidelines and all that has become more and more difficult. Yes, that's swimming against the stream. That's my hula.
Stop. John Ladd, Radical firearms are great budget firearms. I've shot many and function perfectly fine in all calibers.
That's good to know. And I've gotten lately to become quite a fan of PSA firearms for the exact same reason. Well made, they work, their accuracy is good. So yeah, it's nice to see those manufacturers keeping their price point low, but still putting out a good quality product.
Hershey Roseman says, is there any interest in budget options like PSA dagger, full, or compact? So I guess that goes right to what you just said.
Yeah. Like I said, I think PSA is putting out great products. I have not fired a dagger, either full size or compact. If I get my hands on one someday, I'll let you know what I think of it.
Beretta 9mm USA said a Wilson or Les Bear.
For some reason, I like the Les Bears. I think it's because they look a little bit more traditional. The Wilsons, a lot of times, they get a little radical with some of the contours and the way that they make them look. The Les Bears look a little bit more traditional. I just kind of I gravitate toward them a little bit more.
Combats has a really simple question. He wants that person wants a reliable carry model, revolver, or what is good to get, please. So
okay. Most revolvers from any kind of a established company, Smith & Wesson, Colt, Ruger come to mind. If you get one of their revolvers, it's probably going to be a good, reliable handgun. Some of the other ones, you start looking at the Rock Island Armories or something like that. I can't really comment on those. I don't have any experience with them. But again, I've got a budget handgun review coming up this weekend. So take a look at that and see if that might be anything that looks interesting to you.
Monk 93 says Galco is $150 shoulder holster and $90 cross draw sale shopping. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like.
Why don't you go over to your email real quick?
We've got our first taker going to come on as a guest. Let me get him the link quickly. And off it goes. And Craig, when you get that, just click on the link. It'll bring you here, and I'll bring you into the room. Remember, if you have your camera on, people are going to be able to see you on the screen, or you can choose to have your camera off and just have the audio back and forth. Now, while we're waiting for Craig, I'll go back over here.
Will I Am said, I concur. You've gotten more animated, graceful in your videos, also known as smooth. I would agree with that.
I'm smooth. Mimi always thought I was smooth.
I know, honey. Smooth. Sean O'Neill said, can't stick around, but since I seem to miss the live streams, wanted to say congratulations on the decade and thanks for sharing your thoughts in your videos.
Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. You have a great evening, and thanks for joining in. Mike Thomas made a $5 donation to the channel. Thank you very much, Mike. I appreciate that. All of the contributions that I get, whether they come in through here or whether it's from my members that come in on a monthly basis, go right into the channel. So I really appreciate that for all of you that make those donations. Thank you very much. Icor can't kill my 629. It's just got
to tighten the
screw. Okay. Legacy Jones, Kimber K6S revolvers, reliable as. You know what? I don't really have any experience with those other than just handling them and looking at them, but I've never actually fired one. We've got our first guest that's going to join us here. I'm going to bring him into the room. This is Craig Ben. And how are you doing this evening, Craig? Thanks for joining.
Good.
We've got our first guest that's going to join us here. I'm going to bring him into the room. This is Craig Ben.
You might want to mute that.
Thanks for joining.
Okay, good. For some reason, I can't see the comments. Oh, I see. Maybe there's a button.
And we got some kind of a audio loop going here. Your audio is cycling back here. If you can mute your computer or turn it down, that might work better. Some kind of audio loop going here. There we go. Are you still with us? Now we've lost your audio.
Yeah, I had hit the mute in an attempt to fix the audio.
Okay. Now we've lost your audio. All right, I think you're with us now.
Fix the audio.
Okay. Now we've lost your audio.
Oh, we're still on.
Well, I just want to thank you for your 10 years. I really appreciate that. It's been helpful in so many ways. Well, I just want to thank you for your 10 years. I really appreciate that. It's been helpful in so many ways.
Well, thank you, Craig. I appreciate all the support that I get from all the viewers. I appreciate the views, the comments, the interaction. Thank you for joining the show this evening. I wish we were not having this audio issue. Thank you for joining the show this evening. I wish we were not having this audio issue.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining the show this evening.
Maybe we'll work out the bugs later.
All right. Well, thank you, Craig. I appreciate you coming on. You take care.
Okay. Somebody asked how to donate money to the channel, and so Jeff said, where was it? There's a $sign underneath the chat.
Yeah, on your the YouTube viewer window at the very bottom of the chat screen, there's a little dollar icon. You can click on that, and it'll give you the option to make donations.
All right, let's go back. Pat Marina 2011 says, whew, where'd it go?
This one?
No, up higher. Yeah. What you all recommend for EDC? Want super reliable only?
Well, for super reliable, you're always going to get great reliability from a wheel gun. I'm not sure if that's your desire, or if you're leaning more toward the semi-auto side of things, but for absolute drop-dead reliability, you can't go wrong with a good revolver. Larry Thompson, happy 10th anniversary. Thank you. Katie Cowboy, actually own one 556 with a 50 power scope. Will definitely shoot better than I can. and most of them actually outshoot us.
Mike Thomas said they've gotten to watch your channel grow and your body shrink. P365 or G43 or J-frame for reliability?
You're probably going to get good reliability with all three. Like I said a couple of minutes ago, I think the J-frame is always going to have a little bit of an edge in reliability because it's not dependent on its magazines or its ammunition for its functioning. If you have a misfire with a wheel gun, you just squeeze the trigger again. If you have some kind of a cartridge malfunction with a semi-auto, it's probably going to induce a malfunction. So that's kind of my standby mantra for reliability. But assuming the ammunition works correctly, I think the G43 or the P365 are either one going to be very reliable handguns.
Jack said, shout out to American Combat Forces and their supportive families on December 7th.
Absolutely.
Agreed. Pat wants to know what software needed to do these type of live videos.
You have to have a YouTube account to begin with. And after that, I use StreamYard, which is what I'm able to use to bring people onto the show. And, it gives me like the banner going across the bottom and all that. And this is a recent thing. I used to just do my live streams directly through YouTube. And I like this better because it gives me the opportunity to bring people on.
I Suck says Glocks are more reliable.
More reliable than what?
I don't know.
Oh, all right. Riders54 says, congrats on 10 years. Good evening to you both. Thank you.
Stephen Detweiler wants to know John Wayne or Clint Eastwood. He's a John Wayne fan.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man.
I reject the premise of that question, and I like both of them. So
I like both of them, too. I don't think I can break that tie. I don't think I can choose one over the other.
Ben says he's on the phone with Jackie, and she says hi.
Hi, Jackie.
Hi, Jackie. That's our daughter-in-law.
Dan the Wolfman is here. Thanks for joining, Dan. Tom Brads, which revolvers do you recommend for EDC? My favorite revolver is always the Smith & Wesson K-frames. I really am a big Combat Magnum fan with the Model 19 and the Model 66. You just can't go wrong if you want to go with it. Something a little easier to carry. There's all the J-frame lineup. It's just hard to go wrong with any of those.
Roy Kiefer said, dinner awaits. He has to sign off. Thanks as always for this chat. And of course, go Navy, beat Army. Whereupon James said, at Roy Kiefer, take it back.
Thanks for joining, Roy. Enjoy your dinner, and hope to see you again soon. Lee Van Cleef. Now I got to go out and watch The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Dan the Wolfman said, if you want anyone to join in, he just sent an email.
Oh, all right.
So Dan, you got to mute your... Oh, we didn't get it. We didn't get the email yet.
No, email didn't come in yet. There he is.
He's sending you the link.
Link is on its way, Dan. So when you get that, click on it and we'll bring you here. Bird's eye grips may be going on my Combat Masterpiece. Cool.
Is that a type of wood?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought as much.
Oh, looky there. Handsome man, beautiful lady. Wish you at least 100 more years. Thank you.
I'm planning on 100 more years. J-frames are tougher to shoot compared to K-frames. I will agree with that. I have big hands for a woman, and my J-frame, I have to, what is that? My
442.
Yeah, my 442. I have to kind of turn it around a little bit so the butt is hitting into the base of my thumb because it's plus P ammunition when I take it to the range. And so those grips are small.
And we've got Dan the Wolfman joining us. I'm going to bring him into the room. How are you doing, Dan?
Good. Hey, Howard and Mrs. Funk. How you doing?
Hi, Dan.
Doing great. What's up this evening?
Well, I was just kind of catching up on some things. I got an arm guard job tomorrow and just happened to see you were on, so I thought I'd jump in, say hi for a minute, tell you guys kind of some of my thoughts and things I've been working on as of late. So for the holidays, I just got done doing now for YouTube on my channel some Lethal Weapon clips, some Die Hard clips, because I want everyone to get in the Christmas spirit. Those are definitely Christmas movies. And I'm getting back in a 40 after all these years.
Really? What'd you get?
I'm going to get an M&P 2.0 and a compact or smaller compact. And going to be doing videos with that. Shot one that I borrowed once already. And I'm like, you know what? It's time to give 40 a chance again because prices are going way down. And I did even more ballistics research. I did my big ballistics video the other day. And when I look at everything that 40 has to offer, I think it was the right balance. It was the first pistol I bought when I was 18 was a Glock 23 40. So even back then I was thinking, well, it's kind of the right size in between, the right capacity in between. And everyone's been bad mouthing the heck out of it. But I'm thinking nowadays, maybe it deserves another look, especially now that prices and ammo are coming down. I don't know if you want me to be on the camera or not. It's up to you.
No, it's your choice. If you want to click the camera button so people can see you, feel free.
Click the camera button. Stop cam. I'm worried. It should be on. Let's see.
Jeff Tim said, mute the old window and use the StreamYard window only. I don't know what that means.
I think he was talking to somebody else.
Yeah, so I did mute I muted the live one. I'm on StreamYard and I already activated my settings, my camera, and my mic. I think I should be on, but maybe not. Who wants to look at me anyway?
All right.
But,
well, hey, thanks for joining.
I don't see how to do it.
It should.
What do you think before I go? I really am starting to think that we've seen so many law enforcement shootings and civilian shootings now because everyone has a camera, there's CCTV everywhere that we didn't have before. Now we see all these live shootings. And I know you don't really get in the caliber debate like I do, but it seems that bad guys need very often 4 to 12 shots to go down. And then because their pressure from, I guess it's called hemorrhage shock, once they lay down, they hit the ground, it seems like they reanimate. They get back up with a knife or they sit up to shoot at cops still, even though they've been hit multiple times. And I think 40 or 45 or 10 millimeter would cause bad guys need to be shot less. And when you're looking at condensed time frames, I think that's pretty important.
Well, and I think too, that just kind of tends to demonstrate how poor handguns are at actually, stopping people that are determined. And that really kind of transcends calibers and that whole thing. When you look at the effectiveness of rifles and shotguns for those type of applications, they just far and away eclipse the handguns.
Yeah, I mean, nothing's a 12 gauge with buckshot or an over 30 caliber rifle is what I said in my video. But still, I think it's something to look at because there's monetarily the ammo prices come down, but also the price of the firearms has come down. Because back in the day, you had to get like expensive guns that were actually made for 40, like a SIG P229 or a HK. Yeah. They were expensive, or you got a Glock that really wasn't made for 40. It was a barrel swap. But the Gen 5 Glocks now are beefed up. The slides are thicker. They're like 2.5, 3 ounces heavier. And so there's that option. There's the M&P option. There's the VP40 option. So monetarily, you can get, I'm sure if a big department ordered, they could get 40 just about as cheap. And if you look online, not in stores, you can get 40 just about as cheap as 9mm now. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on, Dan. I got some other people that are lining up here that I wanted to come on. So I think I'm going to jump off and bring somebody else that is waiting in line here.
All right. Good night, everybody.
All right. Take care, Dan.
Bye.
Okay. Isaac wants to come on, so I'm going to send him a link.
And meanwhile, oops, where'd it go? Mike Burnett said, congrats on 10 years, brother. Semper Fi.
Thank you, Mike. Semper Fi.
Jeff Tim says that 40 Glocks are under 400 in Florida.
Oh, you know what? I am remiss here because I got to go back and say thank you to John Ladd for a $20 donation to the channel. I saw that come up when I was talking to Dan, and I wanted to be sure to say thank you. Thank you very much for that contribution.
Go back up for a second.
Okay.
Clyde 77 said, top picks for home defense. Thanks. So I'm going to answer this question with what I tell my female clients who have abusive partners or ex-partners. I tell them to get a 12 gauge shotgun loaded up with low recoil double-aught buck, and because it's a point and click weapon. That's what I tell them. That's for home defense. That's what I tell them. Know your shot lines, and keep it loaded and handy. Someone asked me one time, well, do you keep a shotgun in your bedroom? And I said, no, we have two, one in his corner,
His and hers.
one in my corner. So that's my thoughts on home defense.
And Isaac is here, so I'm going to bring him into the screen, or into the stream rather.
No,
Isaac, you're live on the channel here. How are you doing this evening?
is that Isaac?
I'm great. So I've been a long time fan, and I recently watched your review on the Palmetto State Upper, and watching the unfoldings of like the Kyle Rittenhouse case. I decided I needed to have one, and I'm very happy with my purchase.
Good. I'm glad you like, and that's what I was saying a little while ago. I'm becoming more and more a fan of their products, and the more familiar I become with them, the more impressed I am with them. I got that AR-15 pistol. It's probably been a year and a half ago now, and that has been a tremendous little firearm. And I use that for my previous job. And recently I got that PSA upper, and I got the lower built for me by Hot Munitions, and that thing has been just phenomenal as well. That it's never had a malfunction. The accuracy is tremendous. You really just can't ask much more from it, and it's a really moderately priced rifle.
Yeah, and under the New York Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruin decision, if it's in common use, you know, they're kind of like putting a lot of them into the civilian market.
Yeah, and I wish them continued success. You know, I just think they're putting out a great product, and they're doing it for a great price.
Oops.
I'm not sure what happened there. Isaac, we lost you. I know there was a lot of distortion there, and then you were just gone. So hopefully everything is okay. Nobody reanimates from a 12 gauge. Nope. Steve Detweiler is leaving. Says see us at the Saturday premiere. See you then, Steve. Thanks for joining. Jeff Tim, Military Arms Channel, is doing a series on PSA factories. I saw some of that. I watched a portion of one of those videos yesterday or the day before. All right, gang, we are up to just about an hour here, and that's probably going to be about where I call it quits for the live stream tonight. But thank you to everyone who has joined and participated in my 10-year anniversary live stream. It is amazing to me when I think back about my expectations, or maybe I should say lack of expectations, when I started the YouTube channel a decade ago. And never, ever had any idea that 10 years later, I would still be sitting here doing a live stream show with my lovely wife as a guest star.
Well, a guest.
Never had any expectations along those lines. And the thing that has kept me coming back time after time after time is all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I have said several times that if it weren't for you, I would just be some guy talking to myself in front of a camera, which actually I am some guy just talking to myself in front of a camera. But since you're on the other end, at least I know there's somebody going to see the ramblings and the exploits. Or
somebody's going to see that.
So thank you, everyone, once again for joining. You all have a great evening, and I hope to see you all on the Saturday morning premiere video. Once again, that's going to be a budget firearm review. Have a great evening, and until next time, good shooting. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.